All right, y'all. Welcome to the World of Sports podcast. You know, it's the three of us. It's me, it's John Colar, and it's Eddie Lewis III. Well, this week we're gonna start off with some NFL action. So there's a lot of comebacks this week, a lot of craziness going on, and I want to hear y'all takes on some of these comebacks. Which one surprised y'all the most?
I think the one that surprised me the most probably had to be the Raiders game, just because I don't know, it was two of them that surprised me, the Dolphins and the Ravens, because the Raiders, because they both were up. The Ravens were up big and the Raiders were up big, and they found ways to lose. I think the Dolphins really only had one good quarter. Their defense looked bad. The Ravens also had a lot of miscues and coverage in the fourth quarter, which allowed Tua to do his thing. But I feel like both QBs put up spectacular numbers. And as far as the Raiders game, I just feel like the Raiders have to find ways to win games. I feel like Josh McDaniels is going to be under a microscope now after two rough losses. But the Cardinals, they fought and they found a way to come out victorious. And I got to give credit where credit is due. I feel like Kyler Murray was sensational when it mattered. I really do.
Well, I agree for the most part. I feel like the biggest comeback, in my opinion, had to be the Dolphins and the Ravens, because them boys just teed up in that fourth quarter. In that fourth quarter, they scored 28 points. Like, it just showed like what the offense can be, especially with Tyreek and Jalen, like one or two top fast duels in the league. That's kind of scary, but just how fast they can put up points. It's just like the Kansas City offense, but now you got another speedster, just like Tyreek in that. So that showed me like a glimpse of what could be. If they can be consistent, it's gonna be scary for NFL teams. So I said that's the biggest one in my opinion.
The one that surprised me the most, I would say, was the Cardinals versus the Raiders. Just considering how they started that game, they didn't look that great. But considering the fact that I called out Kyler Murray last week, and I said that he was playing bad, and he ain't study and he didn't do all that. I was happy that he came back with this type of performance, because some of the plays that he made towards the end of the year showed that he is progressing, he is moving along. A couple of them 2-point conversions that he made was just crazy. The one where he ran all around and stuff, that was just miraculous play. So I have to give it up to him. And the other one I would say kind of surprised me was the Jets versus the Browns. The Browns had that game completely wrapped up, and then they let the Jets come back and win the game with like 1 minute and 55 seconds left. They was down by like 2 touchdowns, and they were led by Joe Flacco. So I'm like, okay, it's good comeback for him, I guess. We haven't really heard his name in a while, but on the Brown side, it kind of was a bad look. But yeah, I was surprised by that.
So moving on, we had a lot of comebacks, but we've also, this year's been rocky, so we've had some disappointing teams. Just from y'all's perspective, what are some teams that have been disappointing, or anything that y'all feel disappointed about up to this point in the season? Y'all could feel free to share that too.
So one of the things that I'm pretty disappointed about is David Mills' performance for the Houston Texans. This was supposed to be his year. This is supposed to be his coming out party. We see him play pretty decent towards the end of the season last year, and just to think that like he hasn't progressed at all. Like he looks actually garbage. So I can't get behind him. And I think it's just time for us to tank this year and get Bryce Young. But that's just my opinion on it.
A very interesting take, man. I did say Davis, however you want to say it, he was not the answer for the organization. They've been through a lot, but I wouldn't say that they were the most disappointing in my eyes. I say Cincy. Cincy has just been a letdown for me. Like, I expect so much more from them coming off the Super Bowl loss, and their playoff run last year. Like, just seeing them come together and just seeing what they're putting out now, like, it's very sad to watch, because like them boys got the experience, they got the talent, like they're just not putting it out there. So they need to do whatever and get it together and practice so they can perform on the field. Get it right.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. Something that has disappointed me up to this point in the season has been the Colts' play so far. They tied with Houston. a game that they easily should have won, and they were shut out against the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that won 2 games last year. So they've been disappointing, very disappointed this year. I expected them to be a playoff contender, and we haven't seen that from them yet. I feel like the defense has been playing horrible, and the offense has really gotten away from, Jonathan Taylor, and he really should be the focal point of their offense. And I just feel like they're relying too much on Matt Ryan to get the job done, rather than feeding Jonathan Taylor the ball. So I feel like they need to start giving him the ball if they want any chance to win.
Yeah, I agree with y'all on those takes that y'all have. But speaking of Davis Mills, the person on the other side of that ball was Russell Wilson, and we haven't been really impressed by his play going into this season. What are y'all thoughts on his start to the season? Do y'all think that it's anything that we should be concerned about? And what are y'all takes on that?
I think it's a little bit too early to judge, but I definitely think we can chalk it up as disappointment as well because of the player that we know Russell Wilson is. So we just expect more like and to him to have an instant impact on the team. So I think right now it's a little of team chemistry with him being just getting there and trying to find his rhythm with these new guys. Maybe it's the offensive coordinator in the system. It's a lot we can put it on, but I'm gonna say it's more so at the chemistry side because at the end of the day, it's just football. No matter where you get traded to, where you play, it's all gonna be football. Just breaking down the X's and the O's. So I think once you get more comfortable, then we go see the old Russ, the Russ we're accustomed to.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like just him and his coach need to build that chemistry together. They talked about it a lot in the offseason, but we haven't really seen it translate to the field. So I feel like, it's gonna take some time for them to, learn what each other likes to do and stuff. So I feel like they need to build that chemistry. And I also feel like Nathaniel Hackett has to make better decisions as a head coach. You know what I'm saying? Because we criticized him last week for kicking a 64-yard field goal instead of letting Russ cook, and try to go for the win. So I just feel like he needs to be better as a coach, and they need to build that chemistry. And that's going to take time, but I feel like it's all going to come together eventually, though.
And looking at the game, I was looking at it closely because, my Texas was playing. I know I keep bringing them up, but that's my team. Looking at it closely, Russ, he looked like he lost a step a little bit to me. He looks a bit bigger. He's kind of not as mobile as he was before. I know as he is at his older age, I understand, you can't get around as much, but he's starting to look slow. And, it's a little bit of his movement, going through his progressions, it look like it's a step behind. That could be because he doesn't know the offense. But personally, it was a lot of the throws that he made, he didn't even get his feet set. So it's just, me personally, I think that he got a lot to overcome this year, the new offense and all that. But I think he needs to do some looking inside to himself before he just, blames it on the new system. I think he has a lot of mechanical issues that he needs to fix before we go say it like that.
By mechanical issues, what you mean by that? Because I think you're trying to fat shame the man. Look like.
No, I'm not trying to fat shame him, but I will say the pads do look a little bit tighter on him this year than they did before. But I will say that I think that he just needs to, maybe trim a couple pounds. That's why he can't move around the way that he was before. But what's your thoughts?
Well, I'm weak, son. I don't feel like he lost a step. I just feel like it's the chemistry issue. It's gonna come together. They got the pieces to build around him. I just feel like it's gonna come together. I'm not sure. Did he play in the preseason? Because I don't really think he did. So I feel like if he'd have got those reps in the preseason, got live game action, then they would be better now. They would be better for it now. But I feel like, they're just gonna need some more live game action, more film on tape that they can go back and look at as far as, making sure they get things right.
Yeah, so moving on to another person in the quarterback position, Trey Lance is going to be out for the season with the season-ending injury. Do y'all think that this will hurt the 49ers playoff chances? And do y'all think that he'll make a good recovery and be the quarterback that we know him to be?
I think that, it's going to be tough for them boys to make the playoffs, especially with Trey Lance going down and the offense like kind of moving towards catering for him, and now you gotta go back to Jimmy G, who isn't the most mobile guy and more of a pocket passer. So I think they're gonna have to find a groove with that. But it's Jimmy G, like he has experience, so he's not like no pushover or anything, but definitely, I say a step back with the offense. And then on the defense side, you got Bosa that you know how long he's gonna be out either. So I say it's gonna be a tough time for them to get to the playoffs and even make some noise.
I feel like they still a contender. I feel like it helped them more than it hurt them because if we look at if we look at Trey Lance's performance up until he got hurt, the offense was real stagnant. You know what I'm saying? They weren't really moving the ball like they were supposed to. And also with him going down, I mean, yeah, Jimmy G's a pocket passer, but he also has an offensive mastermind for a head coach that's going, the guys know who Jimmy G is. They just played with him last year. He brought them to an NFC championship. So I feel like they can be a contender, you know what I'm saying? Because he's proven time and time again that he can lead that team to the playoffs. So I feel like they'll be all right in that aspect. And I feel like the guys are more comfortable with Jimmy G because, they know his play style. They know, how he operates. Other than like Trey Lance, they were trying to learn the things that he likes. They were trying to like build that chemistry with him. And I feel like they already got that in Jimmy G. So it's going to help them more than it's going to hurt them.
I agree with that, John. I think people forget that he was a quarterback that led them to the Super Bowl. I know a lot of time he gets the knock that he's more of a game manager than an elite quarterback. But I mean, sometimes in certain situations, I mean that votes better for your team. And like you say, they already know his play style, so it's not really much of an adjustment for them. They just picking off where they picked up at in the Super Bowl season. So yeah, I agree with that. I think they'll benefit more than anything. But Eddie, I see you shaking your head. What's up?
Bro, ain't no way you just said elite, bro. Elite.
No, I said people knock him because he's not as elite as other people. Like they say he's not elite, he's more of a game manager.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he'll never win you a game, but he won't lose you one either.
He sure can lose you one. He sure can throwing the
I feel like he on that same level with Kirk Cousins.
Nah, he a little bit worse. He a little bit better than Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins will show you.
I don't know. Don't do that now. Kirk Cousins just on prime time. On prime time, that's when he don't show up.
Boy, don't get me started on Kirk Cousins from last night, boy. Please don't get me started on
no prime time. That's what I'm saying. Like if it's a game nobody care about, nobody watching.
Jimmy G show up at all times, bro. Jimmy G show up at all times.
John,
he show up at all times. He put up consistent numbers, boy.
Kirk Cousins took nobody to the Super Bowl, and
look, Jimmy G ain't scaring nobody.
Kirk Cousins will never take a team to the Super Bowl. Kirk Cousins ain't scaring nobody either, boy. You crazy?
Saints.
Man, boy, we not worrying about none of that, boy. We not worrying about none of that. I promise you, we not.
Who are you worried about then?
We ain't worrying about nobody. Cause guess what? We like that.
Yeah, like that. I think somebody else disagree with that one.
Like that. I'm just saying, we like that.
Okay.
Keeping it with the quarterback position again, my NFC championship pick has been playing real good, the Eagles. But their quarterback has been leading the charge. Jalen Hurts has been playing great. He's been having a good season so far. Do y'all think that this is a sign of more things to come? Or do y'all think that this is just, a good start and we have to wait until the end of the year to see what's going on?
I definitely feel like it's a sign of what's to come because I feel like we're starting to see Jalen Hurts has gotten better year after year. So, like, I feel like he's taking that next step as a quarterback. So I feel like with him doing that, they definitely are contenders. And I feel like they're deep and talented on both sides of the ball, mainly at receiver and in the secondary, because you look at it, you got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith at receiver. And on the back end, in the secondary, you got Darius Slay and James Bradbury. So, I mean, I feel like they can be real contenders in this league. Especially, they're going to come out of their division because Dallas ain't putting them no fight. Maybe New York, but I don't think so. Eagles on a whole different level right now.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, I can't disagree with you, bro. Like at the beginning of the year, I was not feeling the Eagles like coming like this for sure. But I mean, I always love Jalen Hurts. He's from Houston. He from the East Side, so I'm always support him, but just looking at the roster and what they had and from previous, I wasn't expecting this, but I've seen like they probably got a great shot to make it now. I think so.
Y'all know I ain't got no debates with this. This is proving more so what I had said in the beginning of the year, you know. So I mean, I do think we kind of jumping the gun just a little bit. You know, it's 2 games. I'm not gonna overreact, but I wouldn't be surprised because it was my pick, and I think that they will continue this path that they're on right now.
So moving on, you know, we got some drama down in the Bayou this weekend with Tampa Bay Bucks and the Saints. Evans and Lattimore continuous beef. You know, they had their big brawl that everybody seen on social media. What are y'all thoughts on that? I'm gonna give my thoughts last. I'm gonna let y'all go. What are y'all thoughts on this Evans and Lattimore beef? And do y'all consider Tampa Bay and the Saints as one of the best one of the best rivalries in the league right now?
I'd say right now for sure. Like, well, especially Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore for sure. Like them boy on site with like, I think if they see each other in the street, like they go really get down, like type, bro. Like that's wild, bro. Just seeing like them battle and like Marshawn get the better of him most of the time, but Mike Evans come have these moments where he shows up and then they both take shots at each other all game. So just looking at it, like you always, it's like a time, like you know it's coming at some point, like it just go boil over and they go have to get into it. They go have to scrub it out. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I like seeing people fight. I mean, I don't want nobody to get hurt, but I love seeing a good little squabble. Like, you feel me? It's men. Let them do that. Do your thing. I don't think nobody should have got suspended though, but that's what it is.
I was cool with it. You know, you're always supposed to protect the quarterback. Only thing I did have to say about it, you know, it seems like you know, Mike Evans is always in these type of situations with Marshawn Lattimore. I think that, you know, I don't know, it didn't make me feel the right way because he kind of was coming from the other end. You know, being a man face if you're gonna push him like that. But you know, that was my only critique with it. You go protect the quarterback for sure, but don't just come running from the other side trying to hit somebody. I mean, be in my face if you're gonna do that. That's my critique.
All right, look, bro. But Leonard, he pushed, bro, and then he like kind of choked him, and then that's when Mike Evans came in. So he saw Mike Evans coming in, bro. He saw Mike Evans coming in, like he could have, like dodged or something, but like at that point it was too late. Like he got this, and then that's a big body, so that's why he flew. But I wouldn't say it's a cheap shot, but it wasn't the best. Like he could have, hey, come here, but he ain't, you feel me? It's all right though.
I'm itching to talk about this, boy. I think that the Saints and Tampa Bay is one of the best rivalries right now because you know them boys go at it every time they see each other. It's like there's real smoke between them two teams. But Evans and Lattimore, I just feel like if you look at the stats, my boy Lattimore had a ball clamps every game. I mean, yeah, of course, Mike Evans have his key moments, but yeah, Lattimore do his thing for the most part. I just feel like as far as the brawl, Tom Brady is a real, you know, because he the one started the argument anyways. I ain't gonna say what he told my boy Marshawn on the field, you know, because this is a PG rated show, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, he started it, and then Leonard gonna come, you know. I ain't mad about the Leonard Fournette thing because as a running back, you're supposed to come in and protect your quarterback, you know, take up for your quarterback. But I feel like Mike Evans he was down bad for coming in and pushing Marshawn, you know, because bro, I mean, he did kind of catch him off guard a little bit because you know he was fussing with them other boys, and then Mike Evans just gonna run out of nowhere and push that man. But I feel like, and then another thing I want to say, Mike Evans talk about Marshawn Lattimore was a little too emotional. I feel like he is always the emotional one. Marshawn Lattimore ain't never doing that. He always just gonna talk. That's part of him. That's part of his game. He gonna talk regardless, no matter what receiver he going up against. He might talk a little more against Mike Evans because there's history in between. But I feel like Mike Evans is always the one that's trying to fight and push and shove and all that type of stuff when Marshawn Lattimore wouldn't even worry about him on that play. You know what I'm saying? He came in and did his thing and out of the blue, So I feel like he was the emotional one in that situation. I feel like he always the emotional one in them type of situations. But maybe it's just because I'm a biased, Saints fan, but I feel like it's always that way with them too.
John, I got a question for you about that. Not so much more about the fight, but more on the Saints end after the scuffle. Jameis kind of threw a lot of picks in that game. Do you think that this is something that y'all should worry about as far as y'all trying to make it to the championship, or was this just Jameis being Jameis?
Nah, I feel like the team never really settled down after that fight. Like if you look at it, we never really settled down after the fight. Defense didn't play to the standard that they played, for majority of the game. And I feel like Jameis was trying to be the hero a little too much, you know what I'm saying? Trying to win, against his old team. I feel like he's trying to make plays that weren't necessarily there after that fight. So I don't feel like it's something that we should worry about. I feel like he's gonna bounce back because he played good against the Falcons, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like it's not something that we should really worry about. After this break, we're gonna come back. I'm gonna give y'all my top 5 teams up until this point in week 3. And we're gonna talk about the Bills and LSU and the Black Spotlight. Y'all don't want to miss it. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Welcome to the World of Sports podcast. So now I'm gonna give y'all my top 5. Y'all know I've been doing my top 5 the last 2 weeks. I did corners first and then receivers. Well, this week I'm gonna switch it up a little bit and I'm gonna give y'all my top 5 teams after the first 2 weeks of the season. I'm gonna start at 5 and then I'm gonna work my way up to 1. Starting at 5, I got the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that the Eagles, they're really talented. I think Hurts is taking that next step as a QB. And I think with the talent that they have on both offense and defense, they can be a force, not only in the NFC, but in the NFL as well. At 4, I got the Tampa Bay Bucks. I feel like that defense is real. And I feel like the offense will come together. People talking about the offense, but y'all got to remember, they got Tom Brady. Y'all really think Tom Brady about to sit here and let this offense be bad? I don't think so. So at 3, I got the LA Chargers. I feel like this team will be tough to beat when they're fully healthy because of the pieces that they have on both sides of the ball. And Herbert has been playing at a very different level these last 2 weeks, especially what I've seen from him after he hurt his ribs and was still able to play at a high level. I think that this team will be tough to beat. At 2, I got the team that beat them, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs are 2-0, and Pat Mahomes is proving that he doesn't really need Tyreek Hill to be an elite quarterback and win games in this league. And at 1, I got the Buffalo Bills. They've just been dominating all facets of the game these last 2 weeks. And Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs have looked like the best at their position through 2 weeks. So I feel like this team is gonna be hard to beat, especially the way that both the offense and defense have been playing so far. So what y'all think about my list? Y'all like it? It's a A list or what?
I think it's an A list just because you can only put 5 teams on there. I would have liked to have seen the Dolphins on there somewhere because if we're going strictly off, people who look good this year, I would like to pick a team that hasn't took a loss this year. The Chargers have, but I understand that they did play against one of the teams that was also on the top 5, and the Dolphins haven't done that yet. So I'm cool with your list. I think that's a good list.
Yeah, I like the list, but for me, I switched a couple things. At 5, I actually have Miami, just because like what are the clips, bro? Like just that little piece in the fourth quarter, like that's scary to me. Like if they can just find a way to be consistent, bro, like they gonna be a tough team to beat. At 4, I agree with you. I had Tampa Bay. Now at 3, I put the Chiefs right there. I put the Chiefs at 3 just because the Eagles, like, they surprised me. And I had to put them a little higher. So I had the Eagles at 2 and the Bills, of course, at number 1. Now, with your take on Chargers, like, I love the Chargers. That was high on my list. But after these injuries, like, he banged up now, so I don't know if he gonna come out the same. And then now they don't got Keenan Allen right now, so I'm gonna have to like just put him down for right now and just see when they get back. When they healthy, they're a top 5 team in my opinion. But right now, I can't put them right there.
Yeah.
That's understandable. I'm just rebut on y'all Dolphins point. I feel like the Dolphins, they had one good quarter, and the Ravens defense kind of helped them out because I mean, how you let Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill get behind y'all defense? That's something that should never happen. And I feel like the week before they beat a Patriots team that's not really good. You know what I'm saying? They don't really have no key players that stick out to you. So I feel like that's why I didn't put Miami on the list. And I feel like the Chargers, they say that Justin Herbert, his injury shouldn't be too bad, and he can play through it. And I mean, from what I've seen Thursday night, he slung that ball just as good as if he wasn't hurt. So that's why I got them on the list. But I respect y'all points. I mean, y'all list though, for sure.
I think another thing that I would have to take into account is like you were saying, the Dolphins, they did play one good quarter, but I feel like that says a lot about how they can come back from adversity. Even if they come out slow and they get down, in a sense, they can still come back. It shows like an explosive ability, explosive element that they haven't had in previous years, and that I didn't expect from Tua. So, I mean, I was happy to see that, but I mean, I'm cool with Liz. I would say I'll probably lean a little bit more towards Eddie Liz just because of the Dolphins. I want them in there. But besides that, everything else in your list, I like.
For sure, man. Now,
wait, can I say one more thing? We're going to see how good the Dolphins is this week because they got the Buffalo Bills. They got the Buffalo Bills this week. So we're going to really see how good they is. That's all I'm going to say.
That's a good test right there.
Yeah.
Let's put on the bed. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Super Bowl contenders?
100%. I mean, they just been playing lights out on both sides of the ball. I ain't seen nothing like this in a while. As far as the team that's got it going on both sides of the ball, so I feel like they're the favorites really right now. Really, I don't see nobody beating them if they can sustain this level of that they got going on.
100%, bro. 100% agree with you. Like, they've been my favorite, but if they all stay healthy, bro, I don't think nobody can mess with them at all. Like, Diggs, bro, he's showing everybody, like, you gotta get in that talk for number 1 now. Like,
you like that, bro.
Everybody. 3 touchdowns, that boy going off on sideline. I'm him. All that. The crazy island like a demon. Hey, we hear you, bro. We see you, bro. Keep doing your thing, bro.
Yeah, he like that.
What you think, Brax?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with y'all. I do think that they are Super Bowl favorites at this current moment, but the only thing that I would say is I haven't really seen them be faced with adversity yet, and this will be the week that I feel like they will face that adversity. I think if the Dolphins bring their end of the bargain and the Bills bring their end of the bargain, we're going to see just how good they are because, I mean, that's the final piece to it. They've been whooping up on people, but what you going to do when some people whoop back up on you? So I'm excited to see this week.
Just a little side note, them boys averaging 36.8 points a game.
That's scary, bro. The offense is scary. But I would say, like, their biggest weakness probably gonna be their secondary, and that's sad because like that everything else is on point. Like, and the secondary is strong. So if you saying that's the weakest link, then that's scary, bro. Like, they secondary goes for sure be tested with this speed. Now you got 2 speed demons on the edge, bro. Like, we're gonna see what they're really about on defense.
I think the only thing that's gonna hurt them is Trey White still being out. That's gonna hurt them. They got these young corners playing, but I feel like Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer playing at safety, they're gonna be all right. They're gonna be all right.
They got that boy Von Miller rushing.
Boy, he on a different level.
I think Ed Oliver out.
Yeah, he didn't play last night. I don't know if he gonna. And Gabe Davis. I don't know if Gabe Davis is gonna play either. But
that's a big loss right there.
I mean, shit, they put up 41 points without him last night. So
Yeah, you're right.
hey, but I feel like Vine he on a mission this year, bro.
What? He trying to get back, boy.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
But on the topic of teams with something to prove, LSU, they played against Mississippi State last Saturday, and it was a win to say the least. What do y'all have to say about their performance and how they started, and most importantly, how they finished?
I think, well, going to the game, man, I was kind of just sad in the first quarter, like just seeing them move the ball, then not finish, and then Jaden not trust himself in a way and just not throwing the ball and run every chance he could. Or like if the pocket was collapsed, the first thing he'd do was run and not even look to throw the ball. Like that was kind of frustrating for everybody in the stands. Everybody's throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball, and even the coach getting on him. It's just a lot, but he finally started throwing the ball. You see what happened, and when they move fast, that's when they play the best. So I feel that if they keep up this tempo, then they might have a chance to make a big push in the SEC and surprise a lot of people. So I think they can be good, bro. Honestly.
Yeah. I feel like the defense played extremely well. Especially against that air raid offense that all they want to do is pass. I feel like the defense played extremely well against Mississippi State. I just feel like Jaden has to become a better passer. He has to go through his reads and trust his arm. I feel like he don't trust his arm enough, as a quarterback. That's why he always taking off and running. I just feel like once he trusts his arm enough, we'll be all right. And I'm glad that we finally got like a consistent O-line, you know what I'm saying? And we started 2 freshmen at both tackle spots, and they allowed 0 pressures the whole game. So I feel like we're gonna be coming together. If we could keep this up, we're gonna make some noise in the SEC. I feel like
towards the end of the game, it seemed like Brian Kelly kind of sped up the offense a little bit, gave Jaden Daniels a chance to make quicker reads because like we were just talking about, it seems like he doesn't want to get through his progression. So the more that you can give him open looks early and often, I feel like it'll help the offense. So I did notice that, and I think if they can keep with this up-tempo offense, and then the fact that he got legs, it'll be a good offense and diverse offense.
I feel like the offense was a lot more comfortable in the second half than they were in the first. And that's what we really need to see from them. We need to see the offense comfortable all 4 quarters. As y'all know, we always do our spotlight to spotlight the Black community since we don't get much love in this world. But this week, I'm going to just go ahead and start it. My Black spotlight is Todd Bowles. Even though he played against my Saints and they won, I got to give him his flowers because I like seeing Black coaches succeed in a league that doesn't give them many opportunities. So I just feel like Todd Bowles is doing a good job in Tampa, especially with his offensive coordinator, Byron Leftwich, who is also, he's also a Black man. And so I just feel like he's doing a good job leading the team and calling the defense as, Tampa is one of the top defenses in the league. So my Black spotlight goes to Todd Bowles this week. What about y'all?
Yeah, I picked Inky Johnson. He's a former Tennessee player and big name in the industry for motivational speaking, man. I've been watching him for a long time since middle school at that, man. Just hearing his story and just how he keeps going and how he uses his motivation that he had for the game and just giving it to these young players night or day, man. That's beautiful to watch, man. As a Black man, you look for people like you that's been there and know what it takes. And I think it's good to have people like him that's giving us encouragement and showing us that it can be done. So proud to say Inky Johnson is my Black spotlight, man. Keep doing it.
My Black spotlight for this week is Asia Wilson, or better yet, I should say WNBA champion Asia Wilson. They just won a championship this year. She played really well. But what else did we expect? We already know how she performed on the court. One of the most dynamic WNBA players we've seen. 4-time WNBA All-Star, Rookie of the Year. She's got accolades. We already know that. But not only that, but breaking barriers for women in the sports. especially Black women. So I just have to give her credit and congratulations on her new championship. And I'm happy for her.
Most definitely. Congratulations to the Aces, man. Shout out my cousin Sidney Colson. Big champ.
Indeed. Congratulations. Yeah. So I think that's all we got for y'all this week. Check back with us next week and we're gonna continue to give y'all this content. But don't forget to like and subscribe and comment if you're watching on our YouTube channel. If you're listening to the audio, I just want to say thank y'all for continuing to support us week in and week out. And that's all I got. Y'all got anything y'all want to say?
Get that dub.
I can't say nothing about that one. All right.